Good morning, guys. Welcome to Yoga Every Hour. I'm Kerrina from Sacred Space Yoga, and I'm going to be walking you through a beginner accessible practice this morning. I'm going to make sure the sound's working. Okay, sound is working. So, welcome. Early morning here in the UK. So welcome to Monday, wherever you are in the world. Whether you're just starting or just finishing your day. We're going to do a gentle practice. So just come and find a nice comfortable seat to begin. Might have to fiddle with the angle of the camera. We'll see how we are when we get going. So just come and find a nice seat, whatever that means for you. You can always be propped up against the wall if sitting without support is a little bit challenging for you this morning. You can be in a chair. You can be lying down if that's what you need. So just have a check-in, find what you need, and just come and find some stillness. Whether you're seated on a chair or on the floor, you're going to let the weight drop down through the sit bones. If possible, you might want to plonk yourself up on a block or a cushion just to have the hips a little bit higher than the knees. So if you need to pause and go and grab yourself something to sit on, then please feel free. And then working up from the base, you're going to want to have a nice tall spine as much as possible. So you might need to lift the shoulders up, back and down. Just settle them nicely into their pockets. If you're comfortable, you can just let the eyes softly close. And if you prefer not to close the eyes, soften the gaze. Just look to the floor in front, but no tension in the eyes. Have a sensation of lifting up tall through the crown of the head, almost as if there's an invisible force lifting the crown of the head. So you have this sense of lightness at the crown of the head and grace at the sit bones. Before we begin, however feels comfortable, just take 3 deep breaths. As you exhale the breath away, just feel any tension leaving the body. Okay, if it's comfortable for you to do so, I want you to breathe in and out through the nose for the rest of the practice. If you have a cold or any sinus problems, or it just doesn't feel comfortable for any reason, then please just breathe in a way that's comfortable. But if possible, breathe in and out through the nose. I'm just thinking about setting an intention for your practice this Monday morning. Maybe it's something you're working with, or maybe your intention is just to be a little bit more present. And try and keep the mind from controlling you and taking you back to rehash old events or predict future events that may or may not come to pass. So we'll just take a couple of sighing breaths together. So in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just a couple of those. Now I want you to just become aware of your physical body. And how does your physical body feel today? Whether you're working with any aches and pains, any old injuries, just take that blueprint of how your body feels now, your physical body. Just allow that to inform your practice today. How do you feel energetically? What's the quality of the mind? Allow the eyes to gently open, but try and keep your awareness focused inwards. Okay, we're just going to start with a little bit of a gentle warm up for the lower back. So take a big inhale here. Then as you exhale, just drop one shoulder forward, doesn't matter which one. Follow it around with the other one. And then inhale. As you inhale, pull the belly in, arch the back. And then as you exhale, roll around. So it's the same kind of feeling with the back as cat-cow. And you can control whether you go fast or slow. Big or small, just do what feels really nice in your body, just to gently wake it up. And when it feels right for you, just switch it around and get away. And then gently come and rest. We're going to be here for a couple more minutes, so if you need to shift your position, maybe coming onto knees or shift in any way, then please feel free to move. Never be uncomfortable. So we're going to start to stretch into the side body. So we're going to take the left hand alongside the left hip. Inhale as the right arm comes up. And then as you exhale, we're not leaning across, we're pointing into the corner of the room. So just where the wall and the ceiling would meet in the corner. So reaching through the fingertips, you get this sense of expansion along the right side of the body, lifting up out of the hips, keeping both sitting bones rounded. And then just breathe here. So just be aware of that space you've created. And breathe. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release. Let's go to the other side. Inhale. And then exhale, just lifting up and into the corner of the room. So it's not as deep as the side stretch. We're going to come to that later. If at any time your body has the urge to sigh, then just let it happen. And inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Lift up nice and tall through the spine. And then look over the left. Gently here, not straining too much. Just being Gentle weight in the body. Release back to center and go to the side. So the hand comes onto the knee first. Make sure you're comfortable with your position. Big inhale, nice and tall. And turn and look over. And gently back to center. Okay, we're going to go for the full side stretch this time. So left hand down, inhale the right arm up. And then as you exhale, reach across, keeping both sitting bones grounded. So the temptation is people want to do really well, so they drop all the way down, but they compromise their sitting bones. So much better to be higher up, but have that heaviness grounding down through the sitting bones. Try not to let this top shoulder come forward. We're opening through the chest, nice open heart. And then slowly inhale back up. Exhale down. Switching to the other side. Inhale the arm up. And exhale across. You can always keep your eyes closed throughout the practice. If you're comfortable to do that, you can get a deeper connection with the breath, and you can just disassociate from all the external world. Concept called pratyahara. Okay, inhale, come back up. Exhale, release. I just want to do one more thing before we get up. So if you might need to shift your position if you're not used to sitting in one position for a long time. So make sure you're comfy. So the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. So we're going to combine those two moves. So we've got the slight twist as the hand comes across. Then we inhale the left arm and exhale across. Feels slightly different. Just start to become aware of the different sensations when we slightly change moves. We're just hitting areas of tension in different ways. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Take it to the other side. So setting the arm first. Sorry, the arm on the knee or the thigh. Inhale up. Exhale across. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, release. Okay, good. I'll tell you what, we've been sat for a while, so we'll do the rest of the warm-up standing. You're going to make your way up to a standing position. Have your feet hip distance apart. And we're just going to check that we're nice and grounded. Check that we're nice and grounded into our feet. So I'm going to ask you to lift. I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Lift all 5 toes. And then gently fan them down. Let's just do that a couple of times. It's a bit of an awkward move when you first begin. So lift. And then slowly start to place the toes down. And one more time. Lift. And slowly down. Okay, keep the toes grounded. See if you can... Actually, we'll leave that for this week. We'll do that next week. So just check where you can feel the weight. So we tend to either be forefooted or back-footed, or maybe we roll out or roll in. So let's just Make sure you've got a little bit of a bend in the knees and just move the weight around. And go both ways. Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. Soft knees, and then let's take our fingertips up on our shoulders. And we're just going to wake the shoulders up. So just rolling the shoulders. And switch it up the other way. Nice. Hands on hips. And then let's make hip circles. It doesn't matter how big or small these are. Sometimes they might be nice and smooth. Sometimes they might be a little bit jerky. And go the other way when it feels right. Okay, bring the hands onto the knees. And then just make circles with the knees. Don't worry if you get pops and gristles, so long as it doesn't hurt. It's just clearing out. And go the other way. Okay, slowly come back up. Hands on hips again. We'll just warm into the ankles. So lift one foot up. If you need to, you can just pop a fingertip on a wall to support you. Or you might be doing this in a chair. Maybe even you're still lying on the floor. And place that one down. And let's go to the other side. I'm going to start doing a couple of chair classes on here. So if you know anyone that might like to give yoga a try, but they would prefer to either stay on the floor, stay in a chair, or stay on the floor, then the practice will be good for those guys. And it's good for all of us, to be fair. And come on down. Let's have a look at the wrists. So interlock the fingers and just give the wrists and roll around. And the other way. And let that go. Okay, I apologise for the camera angle. I had to move it last night for a session and I just haven't been able to get it back. But I'm sure it should be fine. Okay, so if you have your blocks, you're going to want to grab your blocks now. Sometimes when you go to a studio for the first time, if you don't join a specific beginner's class, sometimes they might say to you, if you need blocks, get them. And you might think, well, why would I need blocks? So the purpose of the props is to allow you to find the position if you don't have the full range of motion that the pose requires, or it might just feel more comfortable. So they have essentially they're bringing the floor closer up to you. So if we're doing a forward fold, for example, and your hands can't touch the floor, which is perfectly normal, then as soon as you can get the same sensation, you just can use a block. So essentially, you just artificially bring the floor to you. So that's all we're using blocks for. So if you have them and you want to try them, then have them at the ready. We're not going to use them. Not going to use them for the first. We're going to look at the sun salutations. We're not going to use them for the first round, but you may want to add them in. So come and stand at the front of your mat. And we're just going to work up from the base. So find Tadasana. Tadasana is mountain pose. So all of the poses have names that should tell you what they feel like almost. So stability, strong. So Let's lift the toes again, fan them down, soft at the knees. And so that's just so we don't do this hyperextension. A lot of people have the ability to bend their knees, to take their knees back further than straight. You want to avoid that dumping into the skeleton. You want to have a soft bend at the knees. Then the belly pulls in towards the spine, so the belly button pulls in. If you pop your hands on your belly and just press, just feels like your belly. Now if you pull the belly button in towards the spine, you can feel that it creates some tone there. So just as if it's the sensation almost of trying to put on a pair of jeans that are too tight. So pulling the belly button in towards the spine, and we try and keep that contraction throughout. You will lose it to begin with, so don't worry. Shoulders up and back. And now it depends on anatomy. We've looked at this before. Your hands might be forward for an open chest, or actually they may feel more comfortable with the palms facing in towards the legs. Completely depends what feels right for you. I'm going to focus on the half sun salutation first, just so as we're really clear on what we need to do. So from this position, the other thing is our chin. So the chin pulls slightly back, so it just switches the leg flexors on, and then the gaze is 45 degrees in front. First breath is an inhale. So as we inhale, we lift the arms up, and if the neck is okay, we can look up. If it starts to feel a bit uncomfortable or you feel dizzy, then you don't need to look up. You just keep the gaze forward. Then as you exhale, you can bring the hands together, send the hips back, and start to roll forward. So this is where you might choose to use the blocks. So just check your position here and check that you're not hyperextending those knees back. You've still got that soft bend. And now what we're going to try and do is create a flat back. So to do that, you probably want to use blocks, or maybe just come and have the hands on the shins or the knees. And we want the shoulder blades to be pulled back. So we don't want to kind of round here. We want a nice flat back. And then we gaze forward. And then we're coming back into a forward fold. So it's lifting the belly and folding all the way down. And that's where we would usually step back to plank. But we're going to go up and down a couple of times just so you can start to feel that in the body. So we're going to come out exactly the same way we went in. So as we inhale, the arms come up, lift all the way up. Look up with the inhale, palms together. As you exhale, come back to the start position. I'm just going to flow through that a couple of times. So the muscles start to remember what you're doing. So inhale, bring the arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold all the way forward. Inhale, flat back, shoulders back, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Look up if the neck's okay. Exhale, hands down through the center. We'll go again. We'll start to speed up a little bit. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands together, down through the center. And release. Okay, so we're going to talk about Ujjayi breathing. How are we doing for time? Okay, so Ujjayi breathing is the breath that you use throughout the Ashtanga practice, and really any practice where you're flowing and you want to extend the length of the breath. So it's quite a simple pranayama, and we'll just walk through it. It feels strange to begin with. So we're going to breathe in through the nose. And then as you breathe out through the mouth as if you're trying to steam up a glass. In through the nose. Out through the mouth, steaming up a window. Or a mirror. Just do that a few times. Just keep going with that. As you let go of the breath, you can feel that the glottis at the back of the throat starts to close over a little bit, creating that sound of the ocean, sometimes called breath of the ocean. And when you first start practicing Ujjayi, the exhale is the easiest bit to get. Now we want to keep that contraction as we inhale and exhale both through the nose. So let's just let go of that now, and we'll try and just breathe in normally and exhale with that same sensation, but keeping the mouth closed and breathing through the nose. So inhale. Exhaling, half closing. Inhale. Just do that a few times. And as you're doing that, you can hear this breath of the ocean. It sounds like the ocean in your head, or Darth Vader, some people say. So just practice with that for now, and we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it in another session. But try and use that breath as we go through that half sun salutation. We're just going to do that 2 more times, just trying to coordinate the breath. And just relax, settle down into your pose. Go through all of those learning points: soft knees, belly button in, shoulders up, back, chin in. Let's take a couple of breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth, just to start that connection. So steaming up that mirror as you exhale. Okay, let's see if we can keep that going with the mouth closed. Let's add the movement. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands together, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands together, fold. Okay, if you were doing that with your eyes open, I want you to close the eyes now. And now the movement's getting a little bit more familiar. So we want this to feel like a meditation in motion. The breath, the movement, it's flowing, it's all connected. And you'll notice that the Ujjayi breath allows your breath to be elongated. So you should be feeling, and that will have the effect of calming the mind, and the sound is very calming. So we're going to do 2 more, and then we'll go through a full sun salutation. So inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Let's go for a full one. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Hands touch down, so bend the knees as much as you need to. Step back to high plank. Right leg, left leg. Let's drop to knees for the first one. Sorry, you can't see me properly, but my knees are further back than my hips, hands underneath shoulders. Just check our position. So shoulders stacked over wrists. Belly button is still pulled in towards the spine. And then from here, so with the knees further back than the hips, we're just going to hug. Actually, let's just come down slowly. So hug the elbows in and come down for a count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we're going to press into the hands either side of the chest, retract the shoulder blades, and slowly lift up for a gentle baby cobra. Press into the hands, turn the toes, make your way back to down dog. So in your down dog, the weight is evenly distributed, so we're not too far forward over the shoulders. So if you take the weight too far forward, you're going to be overloading the shoulders. And if you have tight hamstrings, you're probably going to need to keep the knees bent. We'll just take a little walk through the dog here. So lift one heel and then the other, stretching into the back of the leg. Okay, so the step through from down dog when you're a beginner is a tough move. It's a tough move anyway. There's so many things that need to work together. So we're going to come back through knees today. So we're going to drop ourselves to our knees. Then we're going to step the right foot forward. Then the left one will come in and join. And then we're just doing exactly what we did. We're coming out the same way we went in. So we inhale, flat back. Exhale as we fold. Inhale, arms up, all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands together, down through the center. Okay, we'll just do the left side and we'll leave it there for today. Keeping that Ujjayi breathing going if you can. Inhale the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat. Exhale, fold. Hands come down onto the floor. Step back left, step back right. Drop the knees. Come down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, baby cobra. Press into the hands, turn the toes, make it back to down dog. Remembering in down dog that it's not a plank, it's everything is evenly placed. So a good test is you should be able to lift, if you're in the correct weight balance and there's nothing else stopping you, should be able to just move between poses, between lifting one leg, one hand. So again, down dog is a challenging pose to begin with. Okay, we're going to come back through knees again. So drop to the knees. Bring the left foot through first. And then the right one will come and join. Inhale, to a flat back. Exhale as you fold. Inhale all the way up, look up. Palms together, down through the center. Just hold there, close the eyes for a moment. And just notice how you feel. So you've moved the prana, the energy, around the body. Just take some time to notice how you feel. Just connecting with your breath there, keeping that Ujjayi going if you can. And if the mouth closed is posing a challenge with the Ujjayi, then for now, you can breathe in through the nose. And you can let it go through the mouth until that becomes a natural habit. And then you can add the closing of the mouth. Okay, gently open the eyes and come and stand in the middle of your mat. So we're going to look at our tree balance. So I don't mind which leg you go on to first, but we're going to take some time to set this up. So the foundation of any balancing pose is the connection with the earth. So whichever leg you're going to balance on, lift the toes and fan them down. And then make sure you have that softness in the knee. Then take the ankle of the foot that you're going to lift and the heel together. Find your gaze point. So find a point that isn't going to move, that you can focus on. Shoulders up, back and down. Nice posture. And then when it feels comfortable for you, you can start by lifting the foot onto the calf. If that feels okay, you can avoid the knee and you can start to place it further up the leg. Press together. So you have this opposing forces pressing together, keeping you stable. And then you can bring the hands to the heart. So again, the hands press together. And you're just going to keep your focus on that point that isn't moving. And just be present with the breath. Balances are great for cultivating concentration and presence. If your balance is off, just come and bring your fingers on a wall. You don't need much support. Sometimes it's more psychological. Feel all the movement in the standing leg. All those small micro adjustments the body's making to keep you upright. And then when you're ready, you can let that touch down. Shake it off. Anything you need to shake off, shake it off. You don't want to take it with you to the other side. And then we'll prepare for the other side. So lift the toes. Fan them down, soften into the knee. Now you know where you're going. It's much easier to move at your own pace. And some days balance just doesn't happen for you. Find your spot. And then when you're ready, you can move. So oftentimes in class when I'm teaching, some days my balance is just not there. And that's okay. Every day we're slightly different. And we just need to listen to those messages from the body. the hands, come on down, shake it out. Good. Okay. I want to make sure we get the most out of our time. So I'm going to do one more standing pose, and then I'm going to take you into Shavasana, and then I suggest you stay there for a couple of minutes after I leave you. You want to get at least a 10-minute Shavasana in if you possibly can. Never miss your Shavasana. It's the one position you don't want to miss. Okay, so we looked at triangle, Trikanasana. So we're going to look at that again. So from the middle of your mat, take your feet wide, so probably a leg's distance apart. And then you're going to take your left foot straight and turn the toes in on the back foot. So somewhere towards the corner of the room, so almost on the diagonal. But make sure that you're not squashing anything here. Make sure you feel comfortable and you don't feel twisted. If you do feel twisted, you can widen the stance by bringing the front foot a little bit wider. Okay, so from this position, we want to make sure that we're not overextending that back leg again. The knee isn't hyperextending, so make sure you're not dumping into the skeleton. The muscles are holding you here. Your front foot, and also the tendency is to roll in on the big toe side, so send the energy down the little toe side of the back foot. The front leg is going to stay straight. Again, we don't want to hyperextend. We don't want to press past straight. Keep the work in the muscles. As you inhale, bring the arms up to shoulder height. Now reach through the fingertips so you're open across the chest. Then as you exhale, tip the back hip out, reach forward with the front arm. And then we're just going to take the front arm down, palm faces forward, and the back arm up. I'm just going to show you use of block here. So you would use a block here by bringing the floor closer to you. And then as you progress, you may take the block to flat. So we're looking for extension across the side body here. Sometimes the top arm is too much, so you can drop it down behind you, but don't let this shoulder come forward. Keep that shoulder back. Good. And much better to be high, but in the right position. Now, the gaze traditionally is up, but that can be quite tough on the neck, so you may prefer forward or down. Find something that works for you. Okay, we're going to send energy down through the feet, and then as we inhale, bring the arms wide. Release the arms, give them a break. Turn the feet. If you're using your block, pick your block up and move it to the other side. So now your right is forward, your back toes are turned in diagonally. Again, weight down the little toe side of the back foot, and we're not overbending this front leg. See what happens if you overbend this front leg, which you see a lot in yoga. I'm not holding myself here with my muscles. I'm dumping into my skeleton. Take that little micro bend, and then my muscles are holding me. Same with the back leg. Okay. When you're happy with your position, inhale, open the arms wide, reach through the fingertips. So you've got a nice open chest. Then as you exhale, we tip this back hip out. We reach forward with the front hand. And then we come down. We may find our top height block. We may take it down. And then we may be working down towards the floor. If shoulder is too much, and drop top arm back. We can take our gaze up, forward, or down, depending on how our neck feels. The intention of the pose is the extension across the side body. That's where we're focusing. Nice. Check you're not rolling in on that back foot, it hasn't forgotten. Energy down through the feet. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release. And step the feet together, shake it off. Good. Okay, we are coming down through our Hindi squat. So if when you squat into Malasana, your heels don't touch the ground, so you end up on tiptoes, then you can just use a cushion or a block that has some give, and you can just rest the heels on top. If you use something that has give, then you'll slowly progress down. So feet are hip distance or maybe a little bit wider apart, toes are pointing out towards the side. Shoulders up, back and down, nice length in the spine. Hands to prayer. We're going to try and keep, excuse me, we're going to try and keep our back nice and straight. So take a big inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're going to send the knees out to the sides as we drop down. And then when you reach your position, some of you will have your heels on the floor, some of you will be using a support. Take your elbows to the inside of the knees and just start to press them away. And just stretching into the inner thigh. You might like to move around, anything, just holding for a few breaths here. So this should feel really comfortable, but it doesn't. We sit on sofas all the time, so a lot of these muscles that are needed here are shortened and tightened by our sofa sitting. So this is a great one. For me, it's great. I have very tight heel cords, very tight calves and Achilles, which is why my heels don't touch down. I don't know if they ever will. I've been doing it for 20 years and they don't now. So they may not. That's okay. This is really lovely using a support. So make sure you find a way to make it comfortable. It should be comfortable. It shouldn't be painful. Okay, from here you're just going to drop back and come and lie down in Shavasana. Sorry for my camera angle today, I will sort that out. So I was teaching till late last night and then I forgot until I came in and then I was left with little time. So come and find your comfortable Shavasana position. Allow your legs to be hip distance or wider apart. Let the ankles roll out towards the side so the legs are nice and heavy. If you've switched on your glutes, you might want to squeeze and release them a couple of times. Squeeze them on the inhale, release them on the exhale. Nestle your shoulders down into the floor, so you're going to need your arms away from the body. Arms facing up, and you want a gap underneath your armpits just to allow the energy to move. And then just make sure that your head hasn't gone off onto one side, but it's in line with the rest of your spine. Soften the features of the face. Soften the eye sockets. Unclench the jaw. then just take a few deep breaths here. And aim to remain in Shavasana for about 10 minutes, just allowing your body to integrate the work that it's just done. Namaste. Have a lovely week. Enjoy your Shavasana.